Friends, I'm excited for today's video. I was sent two beautiful boxes to review for you by So Avant-Garde. They are the new Mind Games fragrances called Prodigy and Mentor. So I have the boxes here and want to give my full review to you. Again, this is a first impression. I have both of these on today. My husband also wore both of these, so I know what they smell like on him and on me. I did get samples of these a while back and shared them in a video with a thumbnail that looks like this, one of those sort of like yay or nay videos. And I had a favorite then and one that I just wasn't sure about. And my opinion has not changed. I feel the same way about the full bottles. One that I think is an absolute yes, and one that I think is a maybe, but I'm not quite sure. So I want to share my thoughts with you. Before I get into it, are you interested in these fragrances? If so, have you tried them? And what are your thoughts? Leave them in the comments so that everyone watching can hear and see the diversity of opinions on these fragrances out there. If you are interested in a fuller review of Mind Games, the house, I did one, I think it was back in December. That thumbnail looks like this, and I will link that in the description box. I have a number of Mind Game fragrances that I adore, a few that didn't work out for me. Not everything from the house is a banger. Some are. So as with any house, you have to test these things out and see if you like them. In that yay or nay video, I talked about the fact that these fragrances came on the market at a monstrous price tag. They were in, I think, 200 milliliter flacons, and they came on at almost $900. It was $8 something for a crystal flacon with 200 mils of the juice in them. And I mentioned in that video that I'd love to see them come in smaller bottles. I'd be more interested then. And so these are 100 ml bottles in a beautiful presentation. They are still very pricey, friends. Both of these boxes, well, each of the boxes rather, is $475. Oh my God. But I do want to share with you the beauty that they are and let you decide for yourself if it's something that you are interested in spending on. These would make really great Christmas presents. If you know someone who's into fragrance, who likes the Mind Games collection, or who's a chess player, these are beautiful. I'm going to start off with my favorite of the two and then share my thoughts on the other one that I am just not quite sure about yet. So my favorite of the two is actually this one called Mentor. So let's get into it. The box comes like this. So here's the box once you take that sleeve off, and this is what the presentation looks like, which I think is quite nice. We'll get into this in a minute, but the 100 ml bottle of the fragrance, this one comes in black. The other one is all in white. You get two samples here, generous samples of the oils that, the primary oils in the fragrance. Here you have boya oud and amber oils, a little booklet explaining the fragrance, which I'll speak from today, and then some testers to test the fragrance out. So this is a really nice presentation. Here is the bottle itself. And one of the things I do love about Mind Games fragrances, first of all, I used to think these bottles were really goofy. They are not. They're so beautiful in person. They look goofy online, but in person they're hefty. The regular lines have like a faux wood, or maybe it's real wood, I'm not sure, surround. This one looks like maybe a ceramic piece or something. The caps are magnetic, which is really nice. And I love that the plaques on these tell you what the primary notes are: boya oud and amber. So both Mentor and Prodigy are part of the Perfumer Extraordinaire collection, a collection that celebrates artistry in the pursuit of a masterpiece, an open invitation to explore the world of scent, its beauty and complexity, and to witness the transformation from raw ingredients to the final composition. So a little bit about the description of Mentor. It's supposed to be a unique take on a classic gourmand profile. There's boya oud, which is smoky, sophisticated, provides an earthy base. I don't find this to be an earthy fragrance at all. I'll share with you my thoughts on this in just a minute. Complemented by the warm honey tones of amber and tonka bean, creating a rich and grounded base that sets the stage for the fragrance's development. Notes of dark plum bring a multifaceted sweetness and depth to the scent, revealing bursts of juicy sugars. Ooh! The delicate balance of sweet and earthy tones serves to open and brighten the fragrance's base, creating a fragrance that's both engaging and evocative. So just quickly before we talk about my thoughts, the top notes: salted caramel, Italian lemon, dark plum. In the middle, amber, coffee, and creme de cassis. Cassis is black currant, so I think of like a juicy black currant. And then in the dry down, the oud, sandalwood, and tonka bean. This is my husband's favorite, and it is also my favorite. I thought he would like Prodigy more, and I'll describe why when I get there. He sprayed this on, and he smells warm, luxurious, and inviting. These fragrances are so decadent and opulent, the both of them, whether you like them or not, they are just so nicely done. They remind me quite a bit of what I fell in love with the Whittian fragrances. And I've mentioned in other videos, I have a collection of like 11 or 12 of those now because they're such high quality ingredients and so beautifully composed, like little pieces of artwork, each one of those. This one on the opening, I get a little bit of the earthiness now that I think about it. But what I love is as it dries down, this is this sort of sweet golden. I love the golden honey description. Golden honey, ambery, really luxurious oudy base. And the thing about this fragrance is it doesn't scream. I know a lot of people out here in Fragcom are like, for $475, y'all better smell me way down the street and into tomorrow. I disagree. You don't always have to project all the way across the dance hall and into tomorrow to have a luxurious fragrance experience. In fact, oftentimes something like this it has presence, but is a little bit more subdued, is much more elegant, refined, beautiful experience. This is lovely. It is warm. It has both gourmand aspects and some nice base to it from the oud note. I would say there is a little bit of the coffee, and did I say caramel? Because I'm picking up some of the caramel. It just has a much more soft gourmand texture, and it's perfectly unisex. I don't find this to be a feminine fragrance. I don't find it to be a masculine fragrance. I find it to be perfectly unisex and just a very opulent feeling. Like if you have ever smelled super high quality oils, or you walked into a spa that uses super high quality oils and it just smells like refinement in the air, that's a little bit of the feeling that this fragrance gives you. It's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. I love this. I find it deep. I find it rich. I find it alluring, intriguing. And it makes me, like when my husband had it on, I really wanted to nuzzle into his skin. In fact, I just did a video on the Sephora fragrances that are worth trying out during the Sephora sale. Imagine if you've tried vanilla skin, imagine that vanilla skin was amplified, like made thick, and that there was oud added to it, like a luxurious, really classy oud added to that, and a touch of coffee and some caramel touches, just touches. Enough so that none of those notes are overt, none of those notes stand out or take over, but they are like a symphony in the fragrance, all playing alongside each other. Amber, oud, caramel, coffee, maybe even a little woodiness to it. It is beautiful. This is a gorgeous fragrance. And I think that the presentation of the box is quite nice. It is pricey. So hang on to that for a second. Let's talk about the other fragrance. So then Prodigy has a similar sleeve on the box. The inner box looks the same as the other one, but just in white. And here you get everything in a whitewashed presentation, which is lovely for Christmas time, for a snowy day. Can you see someone just unboxing this on a snowy day and enjoying it? And this also comes with the two oils, the Rose Absolute and then a patchouli oil. So let's take a look at this fragrance and dissect what it smells like. I have this one on one arm today and sprayed this on my husband as well. It smells great on him, but he's not as crazy about this one. He described this one as feeling like there were notes that were conflicting for him. I don't pick that up, but that's how he would describe it. He really, really loved Mentor. Again, similar, bottle. This one has an ombre effect. This one has a slight ombre effect. The Mentor one, although it looks mostly dark. This one, the ombre effect is more obvious. This also has the king cap and it's magnetic. So these are nice, weighty, hefty, beautiful bottles to add to the collection. And it has Rose Absolute and patchouli as the keynotes here. So let's look at the description for this one. So this one is described as rich and decadent, a masterful blend of unexpected twists and subtle nuances, a true testament to innovation. It combines the comforting familiarity of a warm cafe au lait with surprising elements. The foundation is a harmonious blend of sandalwood, vanilla, and soft blonde woods. I do love some good blonde woods in a fragrance. While the twist comes from the longoza flower, a fresh, rosy spice that adds intrigue. Oh, thank you. Because when I tested these, I was like, what is a longoza flower? Okay, a fresh, rosy spice. Rose Absolute, cinnamon, and bergamot are added to complete the blend. The notes weave through the smooth latte effect to create a unique blend of sweet, bitter, and spicy. This is a little bit more bitter. I'm glad that, you know what? Gosh, this is reminding me of something that I just can't put my finger on, and it's bugging me. Like I've smelled the background of this in another fragrance, not the fragrance itself, but just the background notes of it. So anyway, this is another really sort of opulent, luxurious fragrance like Mentor is. The way that this is different is there is a prominent rose in the fragrance, and the rose is a really soft, buttery, creamy rose with some spiciness. It reminds me very much of the kind of rose that is used in Deluxe from Tiziana Terenzi. If you've smelled that and you love the sort of smoothness of that rose, this is a lot like that. Also similar to the rose that is in Oud Satin Mood from Maison Francis Kurkdjian. This is the one that I actually sprayed on as my fragrance of the day on this arm, this part of my body, and then ended up spritzing this one on the other arm. So there's a dryness to this fragrance and a bitterness. It says that it's sweet, and I can get some sweet tones in here. So I would say this is sweet, spicy, rosy, but also bitter. Can something be sweet and bitter at the same time? Because I get that in this fragrance. I can't say that I pick up cinnamon. I can't say that I pick up anything citrusy like a bergamot note. In the dry down, it is reminding me quite a bit of Deluxe, but even smoother. And that's a beautiful, smooth fragrance. I really love Deluxe. I wore it here in October. I thought it was beautiful. This is reminding me of that with the oils amped up, like the creaminess and silkiness of it is amped up in this fragrance with these sort of bitter tones. I do pick up the vanilla. So if I had to like build the pyramid in my mind, not knowing what these notes were, I would say there's some vanilla woodiness in the base. And I would say there's something musky in the middle, although there aren't any musk notes listed. And then that beautiful, smooth, spicy, silky rose at the top. So it is beautiful in its own way. The thing I would say about this fragrance is it takes a while for it to get to the mid. It takes a good 10 or 15 minutes before you even figure out like what you're smelling, and it settles into its own beauty. And I do like it a lot. However, I will say that Mentor of the two is my favorite, although this is beautiful too. And as it dries down further, it gets even better and better. I can't say that I pick up patchouli in the fragrance. So again, vanilla woodiness, some kind of subtle sweet muskiness in the middle, and a spicy rose at the top with this dry bitterness throughout the fragrance. And so this is an interesting one. I want to keep playing with this. I'm super grateful to have both of these fragrances. Thank you, So Avant-Garde, for sending them for review. This is my top choice, and I think this is great for people who love Deluxe and want something like that. Even more luxurious, even more luxurious. Both of these are on the subtle side. They are not hugely projecting. They are not room fillers. They are scent bubble type of fragrances. Beautiful and luxurious, both of them. The boxes are $4.75, these 100 mils with the 2 oils and the box presentation, which is beautiful for Christmas. And if you're interested, those limited edition crystal decanter sets are still out there on the website for $8.95 for the 200 mils. For those of you that are balling and shot calling and don't mind spending and splurging on that type of fragrance, especially for a fragrance lover for Christmas. If you're interested in checking these out, I do have a code Veronica10 that you can use either on the So Avant-Garde website, or you can go straight to Mind Games Fragrance, mindgamesfragrance.com, and use the code for 10% off. Or you can sample these two beforehand, friends, if you want to check out what these are like before you splurge for them. Or maybe you're just here because you wanted to enjoy the video and see what these are about, and that's fine too. I appreciate you watching today. Let me know your thoughts on these fragrances, especially if you have tried them. Let us know in the comments your thoughts and if you liked either one, and if so, which one was your favorite. All right, friends, that is all. Take care. Thanks for watching.